Hello everybody, we are here on Carnival Spirit. We're going on a 14-day Alaska cruise from Seattle. We're excited to try a bunch of different foods and see a lot of cool sights. Let's head on inside the ship. So we are at the Empire Room where they serve the main dinner. Let's head on inside.
Welcome family, welcome, good evening. Welcome, good evening. Good evening, welcome. Good evening, welcome back.
Do we know where we're at? Same place. Good evening.
So we are at the Empire Restaurant. This is day one. So we got a few different appetizers and entrees tonight. For our first appetizer, we got the Pappardelle with Braised Lamb in a tomato cream sauce. Let's taste this. The Pappardelle was cooked well. The tomato cream sauce is very rich. The only thing is you don't really taste that short rib just because it's not as much on there. But in terms of the pasta, very well done. Delicious. For the second appetizer, we got a Crawfish Strudel with a remoulade sauce, which is like a mayonnaise-based French sauce. Let's try some of that strudel by itself. Nice and crispy filo though. Very buttery. You taste that crawfish. Has a strong but good flavor. Let's try it in that remoulade. Sweet and just the right amount of spice. Very delicious appetizer. Next up, we got some shrimp cocktail. Pretty average. Tastes what you expect it to be. Next up, we got some duck spring rolls with a sweet garlic sauce. The vegetables are overpowering. You don't really taste that duck. Let's dip it in the sauce. Very strong garlic flavor. The only thing is you don't really taste that duck, so it's mainly tasting vegetables and that strong garlic. So not the biggest fan of this appetizer. For our first entree, we got the 12-hour braised short ribs with some chive mashed potatoes, green beans, and a truffle au jus. Let's taste this. Wow. Just melts in your mouth. Very easy to cut. Packed with flavor. Delicious. Let's try some of those mashed potatoes. Not as strong of a chive flavor as I was expecting, but tastes very good with that truffle au jus. Pretty good. And for our second entree, we got the barbecue salmon with some fried onion rings on top and a Worcestershire sauce. Let's get a whole piece of everything in there. The salmon has just the right amount of barbecue flavor. I do enjoy the crisp and that flavor of the onion ring with the salmon. I'm gonna try a bit more of that Worcestershire. Pretty good. The salmon and short ribs were very solid entrees. And the Crawfish Strudel was definitely by far my favorite appetizer. Pretty good for the first day of food. So this is day 2 at the Empire Restaurant. So it's a more of an elegant night, so some nicer dishes here. For our first appetizer, we got the Crawfish Fettuccini, a New Orleans classic. Get a big bite of everything in there. Wow. Fettuccine is cooked very well. It has a good kick because of that pepper. The cream sauce is full of flavor. And the Parmesan goes very well with the fettuccine and crawfish. This is a solid appetizer. Next up for our appetizer, we got the beef Carpaccio, and it looks absolutely delicious. Let's get some of that cream in there. It has a nice strong truffle flavor. It tastes a little bit of that mascarpone. And the beef itself is very fresh. Absolutely delicious. By far my favorite appetizer so far. I am excited for this first entree. We got the broiled lobster tail. Let's dip that in the butter. Cooked perfectly. Delicious. Let's get some of that mashed potatoes. Dip that in the butter as well. Just the right amount of salt. Pretty good. So far, all the appetizers in this entree has been really good. For our next entree, we got the Herb-Crusted Salmon. Let's get some of that sauce in there.
Sour cream and bacon bits. Sour cream. Or double potato, can you cut it? Alright, take your time. Sour cream? What about some bacon? Oh, enjoy.
Nice and crispy skin. Salmon is cooked very well. And overall, very well seasoned. Solid entree yet again. last but not least, we got the prime rib. Medium rare, of course. Let's taste some by itself first. Nice rich flavor. And let's taste some with the au jus. The au jus has some solid flavor. I do like the prime rib by itself. You can really taste the beef and the freshness. Very good entree as well. You have to finish off an amazing meal with some dessert. So we got the Crème Brulée. Nice and caramelized on top. A solid creme brulee. All the appetizers, entrees, and dessert today were amazing. No complaints for any of them. And another thing about the food so far, the service has been absolutely amazing, especially during dinner time. Very satisfied and can't wait until tomorrow. So this is day 3 at Carnival Spirit. So we got the crab and shrimp cake with a remoulade sauce, which is a mayo-based spicy sauce. You really taste that crab in there. Shrimp has more of a slight flavor. The sauce is nice and creamy with just the right amount of spice. And there's a nice crisp to that crab cake. Pretty good. Next up, we got some marinated chicken tenders. Chicken's nice and tender, and that sweet chili sauce has the perfect amount of sweet and spiciness to it. Very good. Now moving on to the entrees. So for our first entree, we got the beef Wellington, except instead of a pate, it's wrapped in mushrooms. Medium rare, of course. Let's get some of those mushrooms and puff pastry in there. Also comes with a mushroom Madeira sauce, which is a type of wine from Portugal. Wow. Absolutely packed with flavor. The beef was cooked very well. The mushrooms had a good amount of flavor to the Wellington. Let's try some in the sauce. The sauce is good. I do like the actual beef Wellington taste itself. Without the sauce, just a little tad bit more. But pretty good. Let's taste this as well. Nice and creamy. Good crisp outer layer. Good flavors all around. For our second entree, we got the grilled swordfish fillet in a citrus saffron sauce. There's some fava beans in there as well. The fish is slightly on the drier side, but it is packed with flavor. And I do really like that saffron sauce mixed with the swordfish. Not bad. Finishing off our delicious meal with some dessert, we got what they call a bitter and Blanc, which is some bread pudding in a cinnamon dolce sauce. Classic bread pudding taste, nice and fresh and hot. The bread on top is a little crispy. Let's try some of that cinnamon sauce in there. Nice and sweet, and just the right amount of cinnamon. Pretty good dessert. Since this is day 4 at Carnival Spirit, for our first appetizer, we got the barbecue beef spring rolls with a honey barbecue sauce. Nice and crispy roll with some good beef flavor. Let's try that honey barbecue sauce. Very hot. Not in terms of spice, in terms of heat. But that flavor of the barbecue sauce was delicious. Pretty good spring roll. For our second appetizer, we got the shrimp poke. There's some avocado, some edamame, some cucumbers. Nice flavor to that shrimp and that spicy sauce. It's not as spicy as I was expecting. Let's get some of those pineapples and cucumbers in there. Nice and refreshing bite. Classic poke, very good. For our first entree, we got the leg of lamb in an au jus. The thin layer of fat has a good amount of flavor to it. You can taste the lamb, but it's not too strong of a taste. And the au jus also goes very well with the lamb. Pretty good. It's just a little bit too salty to my liking, but besides that, the actual flavor of the lamb was very good. For our second entree, we got the beef sirloin with a red wine sauce. Medium rare. Sirloin itself has good seasoning and it's cooked well. Let's try some in the red wine sauce. Has a good amount of flavor, but again, I do like that beef flavor by itself more so than dipping in that wine sauce. And now for our dessert, we got the Cappuccino Pot de Crème. Not too strong of a cappuccino flavor, but just enough. There's some mocha crumble on top. It's nice, creamy, not too thick dessert. Pretty good to finish off your meal with. So this is day 5 of the Carnival Spirit, and tonight's theme is Mexican night. So for our first appetizer, we got the Queso Fundido, which is carne asada with some melted cheese and mushrooms, and a side of tortilla chips. This can get messy. Thank you. Steak cooked well. Very strong cheese and flavor. Nice and hot. And a very, very subtle mushroom taste. Good. For our first entree, we got the Pescado Frito. In this case, it was a fried snapper. Nice sizable entree right there. Nice and crispy batter, very fresh. Let's try another big piece of the fish.
Pretty good.
Delicious.
Is that Arman?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's try that fish by itself. Very hot in terms of heat, but very well cooked. Solid entree yet again. For our second entree, we got the chicken mole, and they use a 36 ingredient mole. Let's try a piece of that drumstick first, my favorite cut of meat from the chicken. Delicious. The chicken is very well cooked, very moist, and the mole has a good amount of flavor to it. Let's try that breast meat as well. A tad bit on the drier side, but the flavor is very good. Now for our dessert, we got the coconut tres leches. Nice and soft, spongy cake. Perfect amount of coconut. And perfect amount of sweetness. Very delicious cake. One of my more favorite desserts here so far. So we are day 6 of the Carnival Spirit. So for our first appetizer, we got the fried shrimp. Nice and light and crispy. Let's try some of that red pepper remoulade. You tasted red pepper, but it's not spicy. It's pretty good and goes very well with that shrimp. For our second appetizer, we got the Lasagna Bolognese. Get the ragu and bechamel sauce in there. Big bite of everything. Delicious. Lasagna is cooked perfectly. Bechamel has plenty of flavor. That ragu is solid. It is a pretty big portion for an appetizer though, but very good. For our first entree, we got the Veal Schnitzel in a Parmesan cream. And some ratatouille on the side. The breading is nice and crispy. However, the schnitzel is overcooked, so it's a little chewy. And there's a little bit more salty than I was expecting. Let's get some more of that Parmesan cream in there. Parmesan cream does taste pretty good with the schnitzel. But as you can tell, the breading is also falling off of the schnitzel. For our second entree, we got the braised lamb shank in a lamb jus. Nice and tender, just melts in your mouth. Delicious. Very well cooked. Let's try some of those garlic mashed potatoes. Solid mashed potatoes as well. Very good entree today. Now for dessert, for our first one, we got some hazelnut mousse. Looks like it's in between some sponge cake. Cake is nice and moist. Delicious hazelnut flavor. There's a little almond crisp on top. Solid dessert. Last but not least, we got the Dutch double chocolate pave. I wouldn't call it a pave per se, but that's just semantics. And it has a raspberry cream. Nice and rich chocolate flavor. With that raspberry cream, the chocolate's not too overpowering. Pretty good dessert. And the cake again is very moist. We are day 7 of the Carnival Spirit. So for our first appetizer, we got the cheese ravioli in a tomato cream sauce with some spinach and parmesan on top. You can taste a good amount of garlic. I think that's coming from the spinach. But the ravioli is cooked well. Overall, it is average. It's not bad at all by any means, but it's not amazing out of this world either. For our next appetizer, we got the tuna Tiradito Nikkei. It has a ginger orange dressing. The plating looks great. Nice and fresh. Dressing tastes delicious. The quinoa has a nice crisp to the tuna. Good texture. Delicious. For our first entree, we got the bourbon glazed beef short ribs. Delicious. Short ribs again, just melt in your mouth. Look at how easily you can shred that. That bourbon and glaze has a good amount of flavor. Solid entree. For a second entree, we got the Creole shrimp. Delicious. Just the right amount of chili powder, paprika, and a Creole seasoning. Perfect amount of spice. Reminds me of when I was in New Orleans trying some shrimp Creole there. Solid entrees, especially tonight. Now for dessert, we got the Swedish almond chocolate cake. Nice and rich chocolate flavor, a little more on the darker side. And the cake itself is nice and spongy. Very well made. We also got the ricotta cheesecake topped with pistachio. Nice presentation there as well. Nice and creamy. Solid cheesecake. Whoever makes desserts at Carnival have been doing a very good job throughout the entire cruise so far. We are day 8 at Carnival. So for our first appetizer, we got the Asian chicken lettuce wrap. Good flavor and texture throughout. There's some crispy noodles on top. I was expecting it to be a little spicy, but it's not.
No rush, I just get it.
Pretty good. For our first entree, we got the veal shoulder in a bourbon glaze. Just a tad bit tough. Let's get some more of that glaze in there with the onions. The onions add a nice level of sweetness to the veal. Flavor-wise, it's pretty on point. For a second entree, we got the seared mahi-mahi over risotto. The fish has a nice sear to it. Very well cooked. Risotto is nice and creamy again. Very well cooked. Delicious. For dessert, we got the chocolate brownie cappuccino. Looks like it's a coffee ice cream in the form of a cake. And there's some brownie pieces back there. Tastes good, but nothing special to it. We are day 9 at Carnival Spirit. So for our first appetizer, we got the chicken apricot cutlet with a yam puree. And some sauteed spinach on top. Looks like there's some chicken and rice in there. Nice and crispy, well cooked. Yam puree is delicious. And that breading sticks to the cutlet and it's nice and crispy. Delicious. For a second appetizer, we get the salmon gravlax. There's some dill on there, some chili oil, capers and sour cream. I was expecting the chili oil to be spicy, but it adds a good amount of flavor. Pretty good. For our entree, we got the grilled ribeye steak, medium rare, some fried onion rings on top, and a double baked potato, and seems as though some type of gravy. Good flavor. Despite being very thin, they're able to cook it medium rare very well. Let's dip in that gravy. Good flavor there. The double baked potato is very well cooked. I do like that cheese on top, has a good amount of flavor, and so far pretty good. So this is day 10 of Carnival Spirit. For our first appetizer, we got the baked oyster Rockefeller. Spinach is very creamy. Romano adds a good amount of flavor to it. You can taste the garlic and the crostini. But I don't really taste much oyster. It's a very weaker flavor in there. But texture-wise, it's pretty good. And the flavor of that spinach comes out. For our next appetizer, we got the ragu of wild mushroom. It's in some kind of phyllo dough pastry. Let's get some of that mushroom and goat cheese in there. Add some tomato as well. The mushroom has a strong power to it, stronger taste. Goat cheese is much weaker, but it's good for the texture aspect. Phyllo dough is cooked very well. And that tomato also has a strong amount of flavor to it. But it's like a nice, delicious, soft phyllo dough, mushroom flavored appetizer. For our first appetizer, we got the beef Wellington. And it's wrapped in a mushroom instead of a typical pate like a prosciutto or liver. Got a medium rare, of course. The beef is nice and tender. Mushroom adds a good amount of flavor. Let's put it in some of that gravy. Gravy's most likely deglazed from the pan. You can taste the extra beef flavor. Let's add some potatoes. It's creamy in the center, a little crispy on top, and it has a good amount of flavor to that. For our second entree, we got the lobster tail and grilled jumbo shrimp, and it's over a mushroom risotto. The shrimp is salty. I do taste the ocean when you eat it. Let's try that lobster tail. Dip it in that butter. It's not bad. It's relatively average. Let's try that mushroom risotto. Nice and creamy. Good mushroom flavor. That risotto is pretty good. Now for dessert, we got the baked Alaska, which is an ice cream cake with some meringue, which is egg and sugar. Nice and sweet. Cake is nice and fluffy and spongy. With the ice cream and meringue, it's a perfect bite. We are day 11 of the cruise. So it's Italian night. We got a few different appetizers today and 2 entrees. So first up, we got Nana's meatballs. Perfectly cooked. You can taste that beef, the herbs, nice sweet tomato sauce with the San Marzano tomatoes, and a good amount of flavor coming from that provolone and Parmesan on top. Delicious. Next up, we got the arancini. Nice crisp on the outside and fluffy on the inside. Good amount of mozzarella. The sauce is sweet with a little bit of a spice at the end. Pretty good. Next up, we got the linguine vongole. Pasta is well cooked. Kind of digging around to find some clams in there. has a subtle clam flavor. Some fresh tomatoes and olive oils. You can definitely taste those. Well cooked and good flavor. I just wish there's a little more clams in that. Next up, we got the frito misto. There's some fried fish, calamari, shrimp, and some vegetables in there. Batter's nice and crispy. You can tell that the calamari didn't go bad because it's nice and fresh. It's not chewy by any means. Let's try some of the sauce. It's like some sort of a garlic truffle aioli. Pretty good flavor there. Thank you. Again, shrimp, nice and crispy, good flavor there. And the fish is pretty good as well. Solid appetizer. And for the last appetizer, we got the caprese, and they use Roma tomatoes. Beautiful presentation. Nice and fresh. That grape tomato has a good amount of sweetness. Olive oil and balsamic vinegar adds some delicious taste. Moving on to the entrees, we got the veal marsala. Nice and thin. I got a bite without the sauce, so let's try that again. Good flavor in the sauce. It is a little salty to my liking, and it feels just a tad bit chewy. It's supposed to come with a side of gnocchi, so this has a similar texture. But not much flavor to that. For our second entree, we got the chicken parmesan. Good presentation. The chicken is well cooked. It's not as crispy as I would like. Got a little soggy due to the sauce. Chicken parm itself is more or less average, what you expect. Let's try some of that pasta. pasta is well cooked. It has a kick to it, much spicier than I was expecting. Now to finish off our meal, we got the apple crostata with a house-made buttermilk gelato. Get a big bite of everything in there. It's not too sweet. Apples are packed with flavor. The cinnamon adds some good flavor to that as well. And the gelato adds a nice coldness and cream to those apples and crostata. Solid way to end the meal. So this is day 12 of our cruise. And for our first appetizer, we got the stuffed mushrooms, stuffed with spinach and Romano cheese. Dip that in the sauce. Some herbs in there. Good amount of flavor. Mushrooms are well cooked. You taste a slight truffle flavor. I think that's coming from the sauce. Good appetizer. For a second appetizer, we got the ceviche crudo, which is some marinated fish and shrimp. There's some tomatoes, mango, some onions in there, cilantro. Let's get a big piece of as much as we can in there. Delicious. That roasted peppers they added, the red and green bell peppers, adds so much flavor, which goes really well with the ceviche, the fish. Mango adds a good amount of sweetness. Delicious appetizer. For our entree, we got the fried catfish, some spinach, baked mac and cheese. And catfish is crusted with cornmeal. Catfish is cooked well. The crust is a little on the soggier side. Let's try it with that tartar sauce. Flavor-wise, it's good. Just not expecting that texture. Let's try some of that mac and cheese. It looks delicious. Nice and creamy, full of that delicious cheese flavor. Delicious. For a second entree, we got the linguine and clams. You can see some large pieces of clam in there. Thank you. Let's try some of that pasta by itself. Pasta is well cooked, has a slight spice to it. Try some with the clam. Has some nice clam flavor. Again, pasta perfectly cooked. The spice does add on the more you eat. The spice is definitely coming from those red peppers they added. But it's been pretty good. Now for dessert, we got some tiramisu. Delicious coffee flavor, nice and cold, refreshing and delicious taste. All those layers go well together perfectly. A solid tiramisu. We are day 13 on Carnival Spirit. So for our first appetizer, we got the chicken linguine alfredo. Generous portion of Parmesan on there. Chicken is well cooked, moist. Pasta's well cooked. Delicious mushroom flavor. It does have a stronger mushroom flavor. I personally enjoy that. Some people may think it's too strong. But to me, this is delicious. For our second appetizer, we got the tuna crudo. You can just tell how fresh that tuna is. Wow, so many delicious flavors packed into one bite. The tuna is nice and fresh, that vinaigrette tastes very good. You taste the freshness from the herbs, the citrus from the mandarin, and I think there's some jalapeno on there as well. Delicious bite, full of sweetness, a little bit of spice, and delicious fresh tuna. Now for our first entree, we got the firecracker branzino. Nice big piece of fish there. And it's a based in barbecue. Well cooked. The barbecue sauce actually goes really well with the fish. I taste a bit of horseradish. And there's just a tad bit of a fishy taste as well. Not bad. Now for our second entree, we got filet mignon and short rib duo. Has some mashed potatoes, some string beans, and a red wine sauce. Medium rare. Let's try that filet first. You can smell a lot of smoky flavor. Nice and tender. You can really taste the smoky flavor actually from the grill. Flavor-wise, it's delicious and tender. Again, let's try some in the red wine sauce. It helps to emphasize the beef flavor even more. Let's go ahead and try those short ribs. It's just falling apart already.
Everything all right? That's great. Thank you.
Delicious. So much flavor. Melts in your mouth. Very good. And the mashed potatoes, well seasoned and nice and creamy. Spot on food today. Now for dessert, we got the Grand Marnier souffle, and it comes with a crème anglaise sauce, which is like a French custard sauce made with egg yolks, hot milk, sugar. Let's try that souffle. Hot. Nice and fluffy and soft. Good amount of sugar, not too much. Let's try some with the anglaise. Delicious. Nice and warm bite. Fluffy cake. Good amount of sugar. Great desserts to finish off a great meal. We ended up getting a second dessert as well. So we got their melting chocolate cake with some ice cream on the side. I'm pretty sure it's some type of like lava cake. Oh yeah. Nice and hot, rich, delicious, dark chocolate flavor. With all their dishes, they time it very well. So it comes to you for their hot dishes and desserts pretty much just right out of the oven. It's delicious. So this is day 14, our last night of the cruise. So appetizer tonight, we got some fried tomatoes with a remoulade. Nice and crispy. I always do enjoy green tomatoes, have nice flavor to them. And the remoulade goes very well with those tomatoes as well. For a second appetizer, we got penne mariscos. So there's some mussels, some calamari, and some shrimp in there as well. Calamari's not too chewy. Penne is cooked perfectly. mussels with that tomato cream sauce are delicious. Very nice appetizer. For our first entree, we got the braised beef brisket. It's in a Bordelais sauce, which is a French sauce named after the Bordeaux region of France. It's made with dry red wine, bone marrow, shallots, butter. So it should have a nice rich taste to it. And the brisket just pulls apart. Let's get that sauce in there. Oh wow. Brisket cooked well, full of flavor. And that's rich sauce just enhances that flavor from the beef. Delicious. Well-cooked vegetables. And that potato cooked absolutely perfectly, and with that cheese just adds another layer of flavor. Very delicious. For our second entree, we got the coffee glazed roast duck. And presentation is amazing. Wow, you can really smell coffee from here. Wow. So much flavor from that coffee. And the duck is cooked very well. It's nice and moist. Delicious. So now our cruise comes to an end. Looking at the food from these past 2 weeks, a lot of the appetizers, the beef dishes, the desserts as well have been very, very good. And looking at the service, I want to give a special thank you to our service team, Bernice, Marvin, Ikomang. They've been absolutely amazing. I mean, every second the food is done, our next appetizer or entree is right in front of us. And the second we finish, it's taken away. We never had an empty glass of water the entire time. And even the desserts, you know, immediately served nice and hot from the oven, ready for us to enjoy. So special thank you to our service team there. And I truly enjoyed the experience here at Carnival so far. Until next time on Arman Travels.